Live with CDP Sports Talk, a weekly sports and entertainment podcast sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet. Live on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And on audio via Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, Anchor FM, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Radio Public, and TuneIn. Now, here's your host, Chris Palme.
Good morning, or in some cases, good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to Season 6, Episode 1, overall 276 of Live with CDP Sports Talk, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet, 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0221. And 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen Chevrolet or info@barrycullen.com as well. And guys, always, Live with CDP is on weeknights on WQEE 99.1 FM, weeknights from 8 p.m. to 9 p.m. Eastern as well, and etc. I hope everyone's having a great day. I hope everyone had a great Mother's Day yesterday. I was covering the Argos and also the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans, the game last night against London as well. I'm looking forward to my guest today. She is my first guest from the UK, and her name is Olivia Lynn. She is a chart-topping UK musician, country singer, pop singer, and songwriter, and also a TikTok creator. And I'm really looking forward to having Olivia on. She's has some songs on Spotify if you like to subscribe to her Spotify channel. I saw Red, Breakups, Ain't It a Shame, Modern Girl, I Love It, Club Mix, and Anchor in the Storm. So 1 second, I'm going to bring on my guest from the UK, Olivia Lynn.
Hi.
Hello, good afternoon. How are you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Well, I want to say thank you so much for coming on my show today. I really appreciate it.
No, thank you so much for having me. It's a privilege.
So how are you doing over? Are you in London or a suburb of London?
Oh, I'm awful with geography, so probably not the best person to ask, but I'm by like Milton Keynes, London area, so.
Okay. I've never been there yet, so that's probably a bucket list trip for me as well at some point.
Yeah, that'll be really nice. There's nice things to do in London, especially. That's like the tourist place, so yeah.
How's the music industry right now in the UK?
Yeah, I mean, it's good. Yeah, I mean, I don't know a lot about the charts and stuff. That's where my manager, but it seems to be going well. I mean, a lot of new pop hits out at the minute, which I want to jump on and make a country pop summer song. I've kind of been inspired by Ed Sheeran and like Ellie Goulding, a few other artists that are releasing new music again. So yeah, a few other artists have come crawling out from the woodwork and who haven't released a song in a while, and it sounds brilliant. So
I was just checking your social media pages today. I guess you got at least 2 live performances this week coming up?
Yeah, I have actually. This Friday I've got a gig at a just a local kind of bar pub thing. That's in the evening on Friday, so that'll be really nice. And then I've got one this Sunday as well, which is it's one in London. I can't actually remember whereabouts it is, but it's in London, which is lush because I love the London gigs. Makes me feel like a little bit more like I'm getting up a bit more in the chains, but yeah, it's really good.
Is any of your performances ever live streamed so people that are from another country can watch your performances as well?
I think I've done a few that are live streamed or that are live streamed and then saved on YouTube as recordings. For Luton, Love Luton, they record a lot of theirs live and then post them on YouTube. But that is actually a good shout. I might start getting my manager who comes with me to my gigs maybe could do a live video off my phone whilst I'm performing. So that's a good idea. Thank you.
The reason I asked is because, as you know, the pandemic struck the world for
Yeah.
2 years, and it changed everything. I started my podcast a couple years ago because of the pandemic, and a lot of comedians and musicians ended up doing performances like this on StreamYard.
Yeah, no, 100%. Do you know what? It's a good idea. And do you know what? It's good for those people who maybe can't get out of the house, or, they were going to, but then they can't feel well, or the people who are in a whole other country. So that's actually a good idea.
In my case, I'm about 5,000 miles from you, so but
Yeah,
this
exactly.
yeah. Have you used StreamYard? Is this your first podcast? Have you done other podcasts?
I've done other podcasts on StreamYard. It's a really good app. I get on really well with it. I think the
Awesome.
quality. Yeah.
Awesome. Am I your first Canadian podcast?
I think you are. I think
All right.
so.
Awesome. That's great. Hey, how many songs do you have right now? I think you have 12 you've released so far that are on Spotify?
I'm gonna have to count now. I think I have about 7, but 8 with the club remix included as well. So I've got 8 songs that are out and released on Spotify, Apple Music, and all that jazz. But I've got so many songs that I've written that just haven't been released yet, that I'm itching to get in the studio to release. Like, there's some that they are so ready. I just need to record them.
Eventually, are you working on an album too?
Oh, 100%. I want an album really, really badly. Me and my manager spoke about this recently, about having an album, and I'm not sure how many more singles I'm going to release, but not a lot more. And then I think we're going to start working towards an album. I've got enough songs for it, so I don't see why not.
Hey, one thing, I know over here in North America, vinyl records are back. Are they back in popularity over in the UK as well?
I mean, I'm not sure about the younger generation.
Okay. Over here, it's huge, retro.
Really? Well,
Yeah.
it probably will come back, it will be on social media and then people will find it again. But I actually bought my nana a Elvis Presley vinyl record for her birthday, because she's really into that as well. So I know a few of my family members are into it, but I'm not sure about others.
Awesome. Have you been to North America yet? The States, Canada yet?
No, I so badly want to, so badly, but I haven't yet.
But one thing about this technology, Olivia, is your music is now worldwide available. It's not just in your country. People in Canada and the States can listen to it in other countries. Since I got you on here, what's the best place for people to find your music online?
Probably either my website, which is Olivia Lynn Official, or I'm on all streaming. So I'm on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube. You can listen to it for free on YouTube, and it's just under Olivia Lynn Official on everything, which is handy for when people ask. It's just the same name for every single social media platform.
Okay. Before we get into some questions, Olivia, is it okay? I have to say this because I know YouTube and Facebook are strict about copyright for music. So do I have your permission to play breakups here, a 3-minute clip, and so my Canadian audience can hear your music?
Yeah, 100%. Thank you for asking. Yeah.
Yeah, no problem. It's just, how it is online with music and copyright stuff. So yeah, just 1 second, and I'm going to play a clip of breakups, and maybe you can just tell us a little bit of how you came about that song and what inspired you, and how satisfying was it to have it released onto Apple Tunes and Spotify, etc.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Let me know if you can hear it.
Yeah.
They say love is blind, well, I think it's stupid. I got a lot to say, and I guess I blame Cupid. They say love is rare, when you got it, don't lose it. But what if we're falling for someone who's elusive? And I don't wanna be the girl that's waiting for the one, because what if my person has already been and gone? I don't wanna say goodbye, I don't want you to leave, but in the end it's mandatory, I guess it's meant to be. Breakups that didn't break us, could've thought where the world would take us. I broke your heart and you broke mine. Well, maybe it was just a matter of time, hoping for a silver lining. It was never gonna work. The breakups that didn't break us, we lost all emotion and just had lust. I wish we would have spoken more, not shut ourselves behind our doors. I think we needed just a pause. It was never gonna work. I say that you're wrong, and you think that you're right. You never listen to my points, it always ends in fight. Try to find the middle ground, and hoping that you'll come around, but then you get so distant, and it's like my voice is never found. And I don't wanna be the girl that's weighed down by a person who should help them grow and not be so possessive. And I don't wanna feel so trapped. Maybe it's not you, it's me. But in the end, it's both of us. I guess it's meant to be. The breakups that didn't break us, could've saw where the world would take us. I broke your heart and you broke mine. Maybe it was just a matter of time, hoping for a silver lining. It was never gonna work. The breakups that didn't break us, we lost all emotion and just had lust. I wish we would have spoken more, or shut ourselves behind our doors. I think we needed just a pause. It was never gonna work. And I feel no fear when I have you near. But what if that's 'cause I've been so used to having you here? I love you then and I'll love you now, no matter when and no matter how. I'll walk the walk and I'll go the mile, 'cause I love you forever and always. Forever and always.
That song was courtesy of your YouTube channel, and I want to say thank you so much, Olivia, for doing that, for allowing me to play that. Really nice song, and just tell my audience just a little bit about that song and how it came about and how satisfying was it when it was released.
Thank you so much. So I wrote that song. Well, I co-wrote that song with one of the people who helped my manager with lyrics, and it's kind of been bubbling for a while. I was umming and ahhing about it. I didn't really want to release it, and then I changed it a few times, and then we didn't like how it was changed. So then last minute I changed it completely again, from how it was originally supposed to sound. And it was actually supposed to be released on the Friday, and I was having a singing lesson with my singing teacher, and she went, "Oh, Olivia, your song's out." And this was on a Wednesday, and I was like, "What?" And she was like, "Yeah, your song's out on Breakups. It's out on Spotify." So I was like, "No, it's not supposed to. Maybe it's just like a preview or something." Turns out my manager had actually fast-tracked it, and we didn't realize it was released 2 days before it was supposed to, but not complaining. So I started promoting it as quick as possible. I was promoting it beforehand anyway, so that was fine. But to finally have my 7th song out there, it just feels amazing. I think it's a bit of a different song for me as well, because most of mine are very upbeat. Like the choruses, yes. I love it. And, I Saw Red and Ain't It a Shame are very poppy and upbeat. So it was nice to have a bit of a slow down, relaxed one. And it's good for a set as well, because it gives me a breather. So, but no, I was really, really excited about releasing this one. Just makes me want to release so many more.
You mentioned your manager. For those who are watching this or listening later on audio and they're interested in getting in the music industry, Olivia, how important is it to find a good manager that you can trust and work with, and they and both sides on both sides?
It is really, really important for like the manager and for the artist. There's a lot of things, without scaring anybody, the whole Britney Spears thing, which is awful. You just need to be so careful with who you trust nowadays, and who you're putting you're literally putting your life into someone's hands. And yeah, you really need to have your wits about you. Don't get me wrong, when we were approached about this, having a manager and things like that, and being in this music, how she's helped me so far. When we got the contract, obviously we're a little bit skeptical. We've never had this before. We're like, okay, got to make sure we read the fine print, make sure we read through everything thoroughly. We know what we're signing up for. Luckily, I was lucky enough. I'm absolutely fine. My manager is brilliant, and we're all good. And I'm not I'm not doing anything against my will, so I'm all right. But no, it is really, really important to have someone who you feel safe with, who you can communicate freely with as well, because freedom of speech. And at the end of the day, you're the one singing the songs, and if you're writing them as well, it means something completely different as well. You're writing songs, but yeah, it is hard. Just make sure you do your research. Make sure we had a lawyer as well look over some paperwork with us as well. Just any loopholes and things like that, for just safety precautions, because just need to look after yourself. But luckily I have really, really supportive parents who will do anything to look out for me and protect me, which I'm really, really grateful for. But yeah.
And I was going to say too, it's also important to have a strong support system with family and friends as well. And there was something else I was going to ask you, but if I remember, I'll ask you again. But yeah, strong. So it's important to have the proper people behind you when you're starting out. Now I remember what I wanted to ask you, Olivia. How competitive, how difficult is it to break into the music industry? Even though you're in the UK, to me, it's all the same. But I just wanted to get your perspective.
I find it has its not like ups and downs, but it's weird sometimes, is the only way I can describe it. So when I first started out, it was difficult, I'm not gonna lie. We just started kind of at the end of COVID, so it was hard getting into studios and seeing each other, because obviously we still had rules to follow with that whole awful era of life that we don't have to talk about.
Yes.
But that happened, and that's going to be the same for everyone. Every artist, every musician, everyone in life, it held us back, and it was stressful at times. However, regarding music production and producing, my music producer actually lives in Russia. Well, used to live in Russia, until he fled Russia. But what my point is, I never had a music producer to see in real life. So I've just always been used to having calls and messages and sending voice notes across of me singing to my music producer Mike, who is absolutely amazing, might I add. He's honestly a credit to work with, and he's done brilliant on every single one of my songs. So thank you to Mike. But so I've not kind of seen my producer, so I've always been used to that. But it does get competitive sometimes, and I do get a little bit frustrated sometimes as well, because I don't play any instruments, so it's just my voice that I have. My voice is my instrument. I use backing tracks when I do gigs, and I know it doesn't have the same effect. I understand that. I know that. One day hopefully I'll be playing with a massive live band, and that'll be amazing. But it takes work, and it's baby steps, which I have to remind myself, because I'm so impatient. It's not that I want, but it's because I just want this so bad, and I always have my whole life. It's like I just want it right now, but I understand that it takes time, and I really need to remind myself that. But there's been a few gigs where I've done, and someone's been like, I'm 17, and I started when I was about 15, with my management. So say I was like 15, I'd be like, oh yeah, I'm 15, I'm doing this gig, and there'll be older people, you're 15. Oh, like it's like they think I'm unprofessional, they think I'm immature, but my whole life I've been so mature. I just have always felt quite mature for my age, and I've been told it my whole life as well. I think people take me as a joke sometimes, which is frustrating, and it gets annoying, but I don't let it ever put me down, because it's kind of, without blowing my own like horn, it's kind of reassuring, when I get up on stage and then I perform and then I come back down and they've been watching, they're like, oh, actually you're quite good. I'm like, okay, thank you. And they're awesome as well. Sometimes you just get a wrong first impression, and that's okay, but it is a tough industry, because I've noticed now a lot of people are getting into country, like a lot of people, but I like to think I am different. I'm not saying that in a cringe way, like I am so different, but no, I do think I am a little bit different. I like to spice things up. I'm not just pure country. I've got wacky outfits that I love wearing. I love just putting on whatever and doing like bright bold makeup and singing songs like I Saw Red, which is like, so I've had people tell me it's not country, but I think it is country. It's country pop, mix it together. But now I'm just going on a rampage, and this is what I was going to say. I can talk for England, so now you've just witnessed it firsthand.
That's what I love about this podcast show. I learned something new from every episode and every guest, and I've only talked to you for a few minutes on here, obviously, but I can tell how passionate you are. And you know what? It's important, no matter what age, my age or your age, to be passionate about something. And when you start a new career, such as yourself in music and for myself in radio, it takes time, and I have to learn to be patient too. I've had some rejections. I've had to block out the naysayers because of my age and the skeptics, and I just like to prove people wrong. But you just have to be patient and just keep working hard and keep improving no matter what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you so much. 100%. Right back at you. It does get tough, and especially online, you do get some stick that you have to put up with, some negative vibes, but you just got to keep pushing through that, because honestly, when you're doing better and you're doing better things of your life than other people, that's what makes this so worth it. So honestly, credit to you as well.
Well, thank you so much. Are you okay for some questions?
Do you know what? I have a few, but I can't think off the top of my head. Maybe like, what is country like do you live in Canada, right?
Yeah, I live near Toronto. If you've ever heard of
Okay.
Toronto, it's our biggest city in Canada. So, country music is in North America, the States, is popular, and over here as well. And I've had Canadian musicians and some from the States on. I would say I've had a couple on from the States lately. If you want to check them out, her name is Lee Newton. She's out of Nashville. Lee
Okay,
Newton. Yeah.
let me write that.
There's a couple of them that have been guests on my show, and they would talk to you, Olivia. I think they would. They're really great with my podcast. They're really great. Lee Newton, it's just Lee and then Newton, Newton. And the other one I would talk to is Christy Kraus. And they're both, Lee's a little bit older, but Kirsty Kraus, Kraus, is around your age. So there's a couple of people. I can always message you later and give them their social media pages, because like I said, I've been lucky. I've had like a whole bunch of great musicians on it. I had one on from Ontario, Canada here, that's originally from England. Her name is Gracie Jett, and she's a nurse, and now she's trying to sing. And yeah, I'll try, if I can help you out as much as I can with some of my guests and that are in the industry, I'd be glad to do that.
Yeah, that would be helpful. Thank you so much. Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. And it's called Pay It Forward, because I've had people help me with getting guests and building connections too. And that's huge in the music industry as well as the radio industry. It's not making friendships also, but connections and networking.
100%. I agree.
Okay. Can you tell my audience here in Ontario? I live in a city called Guelph. The nickname is the Royal City. It's about an hour from Toronto, a couple hours from Buffalo. Can you just tell my audience a little bit about yourself? And when did you decided you wanted to pursue a career in the music industry? And did you have any influences in your family when you first started out?
Yeah, of course. So well, I'm Olivia Lynn. I'm 17 years old, and I live by London. It's always easiest to say I live by London because I
Same
myself,
here.
yeah, honestly, I'm awful with locations, and I'm gonna be honest, I don't know where big towns in America or towns in Canada are. So it's easier if we say London because people know where that is. I have 3 siblings. I live with my mum and dad, and obviously my siblings. I have 3 dogs, very pet orientated as well. My parents are the biggest supporters I have in like my life. Especially they support in different ways. Actually, I used to say my mum was my biggest supporter. But my dad has really stepped up. He's now been listening to my songs just randomly. Like he'll be like building something in the garden and he'll have my songs on, and it does make me smile. I walk outside and it's like he's listening to my songs. It is really lovely. Yeah, I've been singing since I was like 4 years old, properly, because I used to go to drum schools and things like that. I've been doing drum schools my whole life. I've been about 3, 4 different drum schools, because I love acting as well. People don't know that as well. I am obsessed with acting, and I'd love to be on West End or Broadway or something like that because oh my god, singing and acting combined into one, yes please. I'm very artistic. I love drawing even though I'm absolutely terrible at it. And what made me decide to pursue a career in music was with my mum, really. I've grown up in a very music orientated family. My mum sings, she does pantomimes, and she loves acting and singing as well. And my dad loves music. He's been listening, like he loves music, and we're just a really music orientated family. And especially my nana really is the person who got me into doing the country. She used to listen to CDs in the car of Jolene with me, and Shania Twain and things like that. And she even got me into like jive music as well, and swing and stuff like that, which is really nice. And Elvis Presley as well. So she's really helped me explore different types of music, my nana. But yeah, that's kind of how I got into it. And then from when I was young, I'd be like to my mum, can you record me singing and post it on your Facebook? And she'd be like, okay. So then she'd record me and then she'd post it. And it became this thing that people enjoyed. It was just family, friends at this point. It was just friends and family who enjoyed seeing me sing. So she kept doing it until, she put it more public and more public as I got older. And then I actually did a musical, like a musical competition on Facebook. It's like this thing on Facebook when COVID was happening. And we did that, and that was really fun to do. We used to dress up the living rooms to make it look like different scenes, and I dress up, so I did a few Hamilton things, and I did some Bring It On and stuff like that. And I actually won the competition, which was insane because there was some amazing artists. And that's actually where I got seen for my management, because it became really, really big on Facebook. There was actually a few Americans that did that musical competition as well. So it was quite a big thing. And then my management saw me, and then they were like, okay, well, originally they were actually putting together a girl band, and I would do anything at this point. I just want to be seen. So I was willing to risk it all. Okay, I'll go into a girl band. And then I was kind of like, that's not really me. Like, I'm a solo artist. I don't really want to be in a girl band. Like, well, I auditioned anyway, and they actually turned around and they said, no, we don't want you for a girl band. Sorry, you're not the right fit. I was like, okay. At this point, I'd been told no so many times. I didn't take it personally. I auditioned for The Voice Kids as a child about 4 or 5 times as well. where I always got turned around right at the end of the private auditions, which was just really, really annoying and really harsh. But, you know, so used to being told no. And then one of the ladies who was part of the management in the past, she is on maternity leave, and she's decided to take a break. She actually turned around to my mum and said, I really, really love Olivia. I want her, but not for a girl band. What does she like to do? So I was like, I do anything really. I was really, really into my pop then, and you know, I still am. So we decided, right, country, pop, mix it together. And then she was like, okay, send me some videos of you singing some country songs. So I sent some Miley Cyrus country pop songs over, some, you know, Dolly Parton, Shania Twain. And then she was like, okay, we want you. And I was like, okay, where do we go from here? So then we got the contract, and then, you know, we got things going, and now I'm here and I'm doing what I love. It's not full time yet, but we're getting there slowly but surely. I've nearly finished college. I finished this month, which is insane. And then I'm moving on with my life, and music is going to be first. And it feels really refreshing to say that for once. Sorry, that was really long, but
No, that's fine. I talk a lot myself, but that's great stuff. I had to ask you this as well. I've had other musicians on here as well. Do you have a vocal coach that helps you as well?
So I used to have a vocal coach from about when I was in drama schools. I used to have it a little bit, and then I went private with my vocal coach when I was about 12, 13 years old at one of my drama schools. And then when I left that drama school, I didn't have a vocal coach for years, up until about last year, where my manager said, okay, you need to start using a vocal coach because we don't want you to lose, you know, it's a voice. A voice is like any other muscle in your body. You need to keep training it. You know, you think you've got it, but if you don't train it, you don't warm up properly, you don't cool down properly, then you're gonna mess it up. So I've actually got another vocal coach now, but we don't do sessions every week. We just do it kind of when, if I've got a gig coming up, then she'll say to me, right, let's practice some breathing techniques, let's practice some warm-up techniques, and show me your belt techniques and things like that. But it would be nice moving forward if I did have a lesson, maybe starting once every 2 weeks or something like that, because I know I'm quite busy, and you know, she's quite busy as well. So, but yeah.
Before you go on and perform live, do you drink a lot of water, or do you drink tea as well, like before or after a performance?
So I tend to feel like when I drink water before a performance, I get more dehydrated. Like I feel like I need more, so I'll drink a bit, and then I'm like, oh my god, because I'm getting nervous, I'm drinking more, and then I need the toilet, and then I'm like, god, gotta go to the toilet, come back, drink more water because my is dry. So I'm like panicking. But I tend to find that when I pack, so I normally do at home, I'll do hot, I'll boil the kettle, do honey and lemon and ginger, and then I'll put it in a bottle, and I'll fill that bottle with cold, well, not cold, but lukewarm water, and I'll bring that with me, because cold water, I feel, restricts my throat. So if I ever drink water, I don't have ice water. It's not good before singing, just lukewarm. But then hot lemon and honey and ginger actually isn't the best either. So lukewarm, even though it tastes not the best, is what works for me personally before a gig. It makes me feel very hydrated in my mouth. If I drink loads of water, I feel like my mouth is the Sahara Desert. I'm not even joking. It's awful. But yeah, that little trick works for me. And I've seen these things that I think they're called vocal zones or something like this, and they're little tablets that my vocal coach actually told me to check out. So I do need to check those out as well, because apparently they're really good, just to cleanse your throat out and your mouth out before you do a gig. So, but yeah.
When you do perform live, Olivia, how long is your average performance? Is it like an hour, 2 hours?
Well, as I only have 7 songs, if I'm doing my own songs, it's about half an hour,
Okay.
35 minutes. But if I'm doing, if they say, right, do some of your songs and then some country songs, maybe it'll be an hour. But if I'm doing a gig where it's at like a pub or a restaurant or something, I normally do 2 45-minute sets with a 15-minute break in between. And that's just normally how I go, unless obviously people want longer than I do. I'm pretty easy. I can do whatever. I think the most I'll probably do is at the minute probably about 2.5 hours, maybe 3 hours. Anything after that, I tend to get quite dry and tense, and I need a break. But maybe that's just a thing that comes with practice. You know, you just got to keep training your body, training your voice.
You're a songwriter as well. I'm going to put you on the spot here. Are you currently writing some more songs currently right now in production?
Oh, 100%. I'm always writing songs. I can tell you that now for a fact. I've kind of ventured away from co-writing. I want to write my own songs. That's something I've wanted since I was a little girl. And I find comfort in writing my own songs and writing from personal experiences. And I really want to make other people feel that comfort too. So I Saw Red, that was the second song I ever wrote fully by myself. The first song was Ain't It a Shame. And I wrote this song because I was just sick and tired of, and this, I can on heart say this, I wrote them songs by myself, no help. And Ain't It a Shame was about, you know, being sick and tired of being treated like you're a lady, you must sit like this and talk like this and wear this and do this all the time by everyone. So I wrote that song, and then I wrote I Saw Red to, you know, tell people, you know, boys, girls, any gender that you are, any person, whoever, you know, whether you're in a relationship with a partner or, you know, a friend, that it's okay to be angry. I feel like people invalidate other people's anger so easily nowadays. And I know for me, I've felt invalidated quite a bit. And, you know, anger is seen as this like God forbidden, like don't ever get angry. And I was just kind of sick and tired of feeling like that. So I wrote I Saw Red. It was actually because I was with a boy and got majorly screwed over by him. So I decided to write that, and, you know, he used to make me feel crazy for being angry. So I decided I'm going to write a song about it. But I do have so many more songs. You know, I've got songs about women empowerment. I've got songs about, you know, my family members. I've got songs about becoming this big artist one day. And I genuinely cannot wait to release them with you guys, because I really think you will like them all.
One thing I wanted to ask you about, how difficult is it to get a recording studio in the UK or over in England?
Well, for me, it's not actually been too difficult. I have to go to a recording studio about an hour away. It's the best recording studio I have used, and I've only been in, I think I've been in 2, and it's my favorite one. So I go to one, it's called Wellingborough, where I go, and my manager found it for us, and she's actually friends with the person who owns it and runs it. So it's pretty good for us. So I can't complain. He can pretty much get us in there whenever we need to. And I'm pretty flexible. So if he's like, well, I only have a Monday, I'm like, oh, well, I'll come in on Monday. I'll just rearrange whatever I was doing Monday to another day. So for me, it's pretty flexible and pretty like, okay.
When you do rehearsals, what are they normally like? How long time wise? Half an hour, 2 hours?
For me, I tend to rehearse a lot on my own anyway. I never really rehearse with my management. I like to keep myself to myself when I'm rehearsing. I'm in the zone. So for me, I'll be rehearsing as much as I possibly can. For example, if I've got a big gig coming up, like these festivals that I've got coming up, I'll be rehearsing whenever. I'll be listening to my songs, you know, just because they're my songs and I may have written some of them. I still forget the words. I am awful like that, awful. So I listen to my songs as much as I possibly can, which is why I most of the time hate the sound of my own voice. And then my mum is a major help with rehearsals as well. She really helps with my body language, and, you know, how I should be moving, how I should be positioned. Don't stand on the stage still. In this song, do this. In this song, do this. Maybe do a little dance move here. So she's really helped with that. don't tend to have really a time limit on them. I'll just keep going until I'm like, okay, I'm getting sick and tired, or until my mum's like, okay, you're not listening to me, so let's just move on.
A couple other things I wanted to ask you, Olivia. Are you still good for time for a few more minutes? You okay with
Yeah,
time? Okay,
yeah.
perfect. I do this with the other musicians I've had on as well. Before a live performance, if you feel nervous or whatever, it depends on each musician. Everyone's different. Do you have any rituals you do to like kind of just get you focused on what you need to do for your live performance?
I tend to zone off my phone. So I make sure I'm off of that as much as possible, especially when it's getting closer to the gig. I don't want to be on that. Plenty of water, toilet break 100%, because there's been times where I haven't gone to the toilet and I needed the toilet whilst I'm singing, and that is the worst feeling.
Feeling.
Honestly, the worst. And then my honey, lemon, and ginger. Every time I sing, that is one thing. Sometimes I have an energy drink or something. I'll have it like 2 hours before, because obviously energy drink, it's fizzy, so it makes you burp, and I don't want to be burping on stage. So if I have an energy drink, it'll be about 2 hours before the performance to make sure it's all out of my system by the time I perform. Obviously, my vocal warm-ups come in clutch with that as well, and do that constantly. I can do that about an hour before the gig. I'm vocally warming up. And body warm-up as well. So, constantly moving my body, neck warm-ups, tongue warm-ups, arm warm-ups, wrist warm-ups. Because people forget that you're not just using your voice, you're using your whole body, especially when you're performing and you're throwing your arms around and you're moving. And you sometimes get a tongue twister, so make sure you're warming up your tongue and your neck and you're ready to go.
Definitely. What's the biggest audience you've performed in front of so far? And do you have a favorite place to perform your music so far in your career?
My favorite place is probably Bedford Esquires at the minute, in Bedford, which is about half an hour, 40 minutes away from me. Just purely because I've had the best experience there. I've had quite a few big crowds there. And they've always kind of partied along with my music, which helps. But the biggest audience, probably about, I want to say 300, maybe more. I'm not too sure. I know at Country on the Coast, there was quite a few people. And then I actually recently just did a gig on Saturday night where there was about 200 people there. So about maybe 300 people, 350 maybe. So.
That's a lot. No matter what age you are, that is a lot to perform in front of. So, all right. This next question, you've mentioned some, but Olivia, who are some of your other music influences when growing up in the UK? You did mention Elton John, Ed Sheeran, Adele, but were there other artists and bands that kind of influenced your music career?
I wouldn't say maybe. I'm trying to think. It's actually hard because I know more American artists than UK. That's really bad, isn't it? But I wouldn't. She's not, obviously she's from America. It's Lady Gaga. She's just amazing. I just love her. And I want to. I take a lot from her. Her stage presence, her mannerisms, her outfits. She's herself, she's her true self all the time. And she is someone who I massively look up to, for all of those reasons. And I actually call myself, and on a few interviews I've been called the Lady Gaga of country pop music, which is really, really cool. So that is something that is riding with me that I really, really like. And obviously, Shania Twain, love her. Taylor Swift, love. I started getting into more male country artists because I wasn't very educated on male country artists. But Morgan Wallen, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. And then Luke Combs as well. And I think there's a Luke Bryan as well, I think.
Yes.
But, yeah, they're some of my influences for songwriting at the minute, especially Luke Combs with his songwriting. But yeah.
I was gonna say one day you're gonna have to come to Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, 100%. I'm hoping to. 100%.
And like I said, for me, for music, I'm kind of the classic rock guy music from the 70s and 80s, but lately I've been listening to a lot more country music from my guests, and I'm really enjoying the new country style and your music as well. Like I said, since I have you on here, I'm just gonna ask you a couple more quick questions before we wrap it up. But can you
Yeah.
just tell my audience about some of your other songs that you've written before? And I'm not going to put you on the spot and say which is your favorite song, but which one is right now your most memorable song you've done so far in your career?
You can ask me what is my favorite song because I always have an answer for that, and that is definitely I Saw Red. Mainly because I wrote it, and also it's just like empowering to me. Like when I sing it, I just feel so empowered, and it makes me feel like I'm performing at like the O2 or something like that, like in London on a massive stage in front of thousands. That's the only way I can describe it. I just love that song. And my other songs, well, Modern Girl was my first release, and that was about starting up being a country artist and trying to work hard and make it far. Then we have I Love It, which was actually another relationship song, which was about when you've broken up with someone and you still love them, but you see them getting hurt. So in that song I talk about, I love it when she breaks your heart, I love it when she screams your name, and it's like you like the fact that he's now getting calmer. So that's what I Love It's about. And then obviously Breakups is about breaking up with someone, which is actually something that is personal to me. Breaking up with someone, but realizing that you can't stay away from each other, and you should give it another shot. And I did give it another shot, and we're still together now, which is nice. And then what else have we got? Well, Ain't It a Shame, which I said about, which was being told be ladylike and all this and that. And then we have Water Under the Bridge, which was a cover that I did of an Adele song, which is just a song that I've always really liked. And the saying "water under the bridge" is used quite a lot in my house. And I just think, when things do get tough sometimes, and you have fallouts, you have arguments, just it's water under the bridge. Just forgive and forget. But I'm trying to think of the other songs that I have as well. God, I can't even remember now. I think that's all of them.
And one thing I wanted to ask you about this too, and I find it, if I'm having a bad day or I'm stressed out, I like to listen to my music, and I find any kind of music can be therapeutic to your mental health as well, and it also can bring back memories of happier times as well.
Yeah, 100%. I agree.
All right. And before we wrap this up, Olivia, can you just tell my audience here in Canada just some of your upcoming performances? And again, hopefully, maybe they'll be live streamed for those that can attend. And I'll put them on I have your upcoming shows on my ticker here too.
Oh, perfect. You know more than I do. You're so much more prepared than me. Well, I have a festival in West Yorkshire that is on there, that is coming up. That's called the Longest Day Festival, which is really cool. I have the Buck and Ball in June, which is in London, which is lovely. I've got some in Putney, and actually coming up I've got the British Country Music Association Fan Fest in July, which is crazy. I literally cannot wait for that one. really, really excited. These big gigs mean so much to me because it just proves that I am moving up in the world of music. I'm getting there. Sometimes it feels slow, but I'm now doing festivals, which is crazy because a year ago I wasn't. So but yeah, I've got quite a few coming up this year, which is nice, but I'm hoping I'm gonna get loads more. Fingers crossed I do.
Just take one day, 1 week at a time, and just keep doing what you're doing, Olivia, and just keep working at it. And I really can see your passion on here from talking to you as well. Now, I'm going to wrap this up with this question. I've been to Canada and I've been to the States, but for those who are watching this live streamed, which is on Facebook, LinkedIn, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, and later on my 14 audio platforms. For those people, including myself, who have never visited the UK, what would you recommend for sightseeing and some of your favorite restaurants in the UK and stuff like that?
Okay, so for sightseeing, obviously London is probably the best place to go to. We have the London Eye there, which is really cool, which is like you go in it and it's like that spinny thing that goes around like that. That's the only way I can describe it. You go around in it. We have an aquarium which is really cool, but for me, because I'm a horror, I love horror and thriller things and stuff like that. I don't know if you have a similar thing to where you are, but it's called London Dungeons, and it's like a historical horror thing about all the things that happened in London. So like the Great Fire of London and Jack the Ripper and things like that. And you go in and it's like this experience where you've got like actors and there's like a ride, and it's really, really cool. So that's something that I would recommend because I really like horror and things like that.
I'm going to put you on the spot. Favorite restaurant, and what's your favorite food you like to have?
I'm so fussy. You know what? If you asked me this last year, I would have said McDonald's because I am that fussy. And I'm just so cheap. But you ask me now, not sure about restaurant. But food-wise, I tried Scampi about 2 months ago, and I've been obsessed ever since. So I'm going to say Scampi because it's just amazing.
Okay, I'm kind of a steak and pasta guy, but I definitely want to do a little more traveling, and the UK is somewhere I would like to go as well. And we're going to wrap this up with one last question, Olivia. What advice for those watching or listening to this episode would you give someone who's looking to start a career in the music industry, whether it's Canada, the States, the UK, Australia, etc.? And where can my audience find you on social media and your website, and keep up to date with all your work?
So for those who are starting out in the music industry, just keep putting yourself out there. Social media, as much of an annoyance it can be sometimes, it is a big way of getting yourself out there. You post singing videos, YouTube, on Instagram, TikTok, Snapchat, Facebook, whatever you can, Twitter. Honestly, just keep pushing yourself out there and keep posting. Someone will see it, I promise you. I used to be that girl. Like I'd be like, oh my God, I'm just posting non-stop, like post, nothing's ever happened. And then I got seen, and you know, now I'm doing what I love. So just keep going, keep persevering. And something I would also say is, I say this on every time someone asks me this question, be very wary and be kind to those people who you meet on the way up the ladder, because you could be going back down that ladder just as quick. And if you want some help, then you need to be friends with everyone and support people, because you'd want to be supported as well. That's something I will say. And regarding where people can find my social media and website, my social media on all like platforms is Olivia Lynn official on everything. Okay. I've even got a spam account on TikTok just in case my main TikTok gets banned, because you can never be too careful with TikTok. It's so...
Yes. So far, I've been lucky on TikTok, by the way. And I will find you on TikTok and add you as well.
Yes, thank you. I'll give you a follow back as well. So, and then my website is Olivia Lynn official. So that's everything.
And they can also go on, I believe, Linktree, which will take you to all your social media work. I have one here called beacons.ai. It's similar to Linktree, and all my work is on there as well. But Olivia, that is great advice. And also to always be humble. You're going to have your successes and you're going to have your setbacks. And it's always good to keep an even keel and always remain humble. And you said it perfectly. And I was going to say, Olivia, I haven't known you that long, but I really enjoyed having you on my show today, my 276th episode. And I definitely will be in contact with you with some of my other guests in the music industry, and hopefully they can give you some advice as well, and listen to your music as well.
100%. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure. Thank you.
And no problem. And again, where can people find your music if they want to listen to it again?
So my music is on Apple Music, Spotify, Amazon, and YouTube. And my name is Olivia Lynn across all of those platforms.
Okay, well, I'm going to say thank you so much, Olivia. If you can give me about 15, 20 minutes, I will have this episode downloaded to my audio platforms, and I'll send you a link from the audio and also from my YouTube channel. And when this show does air on my radio station, which I do remotely from home, and it goes to Georgia, I will send you the link to the radio station, and you can listen to it as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. Thank you. Honestly, you've been amazing.
Well, you're very welcome, and I want to wish you all the best and continued success, and we'll definitely keep in touch with you on social media.
Oh, 100% we'll keep in touch. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a good evening.
You too. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right, guys. I hope you enjoyed season 6, episode 1 today with my guest Olivia Lynn. She is a musician, songwriter, singer, and she does country pop music over in the UK as well, guys. So I really appreciate her coming on. And just to let you guys know, the next live CDP Sports Talk, sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet here in Guelph, will be tomorrow, Tuesday, May 16th at 12 p.m. Eastern with my guest, Jessica Lynn. She's a country artist, songwriter from New York City. So I'm going to be talking to Jessica about her music career as well and being a country singer, and a little bit about New York City as well. So I hope you guys can tune in tomorrow at 12 o'clock for season 6, episode 2 with Jessica Lynn. And I'm really looking forward to speaking with her as well. Guys, just bear with me for 1 second. Let's see. Live with CDP Sports Talk is a weekly sports and entertainment talk show hosted by yours truly, Chris Pame. It is now on weeknights at 8 p.m. on radio station WQEE 99.1 FM, The Key, the home of Southern sports and talk and the heartbeat of Atlanta. And a shout out to their station manager, Ryan O'Neill, for having me on his station as well. As always, guys, Live with CDP Sports Talk is live streamed on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and LinkedIn. And I want to say thank you to everybody this morning for watching this podcast show on live stream as well. You guys can follow my website at beacons.ai/Chris D. Pame. All my digital content, previous podcast shows are on there as well. Live with CDP Sports Talk is sponsored by Barry Cullen Chevrolet Dealership at 905 Woodlawn Road West in the Guelph Auto Mall. Check out barrycullen.com for the newest selection of new and pre-owned GM vehicles, or give them a call at 519-824-0210, or email them at info@barrycullen.com. Also, guys, it is spring into summer at Barry Cullen Chevrolet with the 2023 Chevy Equinox financing up to 3.9%, financing available for 3.99% for up to 60 months. And anyone that's an eligible Costco member can receive up to a $750 bonus on certain select SUVs as well. And I want to say thank you to Mark Cullen for sponsoring Live with CDP Sports Talk as well. You guys can follow me. Everybody can follow me if they wish to. I am on TikTok at Live with CDP. I do a lot of promos for my podcast there on my guests. And also I do a lot of interviews with players and coaches from the sports leagues that I cover there as well. So again, I Live with CDP on TikTok if you wish to follow me there as well. StreamYard is the official live stream provider of Live with CDP Sports Talk. If you're into webinars or podcasting, I highly recommend StreamYard.com as well. Finally, Live with CDP Sports Talk podcast. The audio version is available on these platforms: iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, Google Podcasts, Anchor FM, Apple Podcasts, Breaker, Pocket Casts, Radio Public, Spotify, Castbox, LinkedIn, Stitcher, and Tuned In as well. And weeknights at 8 o'clock on WQEE 99.1 FM in Metro Atlanta, the home of Southern talk and sports. And I will be on tonight at 8 o'clock as well, guys. And that's about it. Oh, finally, You guys can also email or text live with CDP Sports Talk at cpame19@gmail.com, or you can text me in the show at 519-820-7188. And finally, we'll just do a little sports talk here, guys. Just give me 1 second. There is some hockey on tonight. Stanley Cup playoffs, round 2. Seattle Kraken at the Dallas Stars tonight, 8 p.m., Game 7. The winner will take on Vegas in the Western Conference Championship. And then the NBA, there's no NBA playoffs tonight, but the conference finals are set with the Miami Heat taking on the Boston Celtics and those Los Angeles Lakers and LeBron taking on the Denver Nuggets. I have Boston and Denver winning those series and playing for the NBA Finals. So Boston, Denver, 2023 NBA Finals as well. And also, guys, congratulations to the Windsor Express and the London Lightning yesterday for winning their series. Windsor beating Sudbury down in Sudbury in 5 games to advance to their first NBLC Finals since, I think, 2014, 2015, I believe. And the London Lightning, who are the defending reigning NBLC champions from last year, defeated the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans last night, a game that I covered as media, 94-89. So it's going to be Windsor at London in the National Basketball League Canada's finals. Best of 5 series will start this week sometime. The first 2 games will be at Budweiser Gardens in London. Game 3 will be at the WFCU Center in Windsor. And if Windsor can make it a 4th game, if the 4th game is necessary, it would be at the WFC Center. And a 5th game, if needed in this series, would be back in London at Budweiser Gardens. But special shout out to Audley Stevenson and the National Basketball League of Canada for letting me cover the league this year as a media affiliate, and to all the coaches and players I've done podcast shows with and interviews as well. And also, thanks to Chris Bilnovich and the Toronto Argonauts for having me out this week for a walk-in practice and their first practice yesterday. So please check out my YouTube channel, Chris Pame, or Live with CDP Sports Talk on YouTube. And please hit the subscribe and the like notification. I post a lot of content there with my podcasts and some great interviews with some Toronto Argonauts. And last night with Jury, from the National Basketball League TV, play-by-play announcer for the Titans, and also Jasmine Pristine, who is a season ticket holder for the Kitchener-Waterloo Titans as well. That's about it, guys. Again, I want to say thank you to my guest, Olivia Lynn. She's a UK country pop music star, for coming on today. And please check out her website again. And her music is on Spotify, Apple, iTunes, and that as well. So again, I really enjoyed talking to Olivia Lynn today, and hope you guys can tune in to my talk show tonight at 8 p.m. on WQE 99.1 FM. That's about it. I hope everybody has a great rest of the day, and we'll see you guys here tomorrow for season 6, episode 2, with country music star from New York City, Jessica Lynn, on Live with CDP Sports Talk, brought to you by Barry Cullen Chevrolet, and weeknights on WQEE 99.1 FM. Have a great day, everybody, and we'll see you tomorrow at 12 o'clock with my guest, Jessica